Alright everybody, I'm out here today. I figured it's probably time to do a short walk around of my 1956 D47U. I had a couple of subscribers comments about the cab on this. It's not very often you see a full steel cab on machines of this age. That really didn't start becoming popular up until the 60s, early to mid 60s. Typically these are either a canvas or a wooden cab. So we'll go over some of the stuff that's on this old machine. I've got another subscriber of mine. He sent me an email and we got talking back and forth. He's got I think it's an 80s model Chevy C70. It's 4x4. Used to be used to belong to a volunteer fire department, and I told him I'd put a montage together for him. Sent me a bunch of pictures of it, a couple of short video clips. I just haven't had time to put it together. Working the weather, you know, it is what it is. My career takes precedence over anything else. I don't do this for a living. I'm a pipe fitter welder by trade, and that's how I make my living. And it's either feast or famine. So right now work's good and I'm working. But anyway, let's get down to walk around of this thing. So this being a 1956 D47U. The 7Us are a wide gauge tractor. The 6Us are narrow gauge. So I think and the gauge is center to center distance on the tracks. So this is 60 inches, I believe. It's got a 9-foot 6-inch blade on it. I put a new cutting edge on it 3 years ago, rebuilt it. You'd have to go back and look through the slideshow of this. I show a bunch of the pictures of me rebuilding the bottom of the blade and the cutting edge. It's got 18-inch grousers on it. The undercarriage is about shot. I had a Caterpillar track guy come out several years ago and look at it. He gave me a rough estimate of hours until it needed to be replaced, and I'm probably there. The mainspring on this does need to be replaced. It's wore out, 65 years old. This is a 6-way blade. It is not a pat blade, but it is 6-way. The only power on this is up and down. It has manual left and right. It also has manual tilt, so you can actually tilt the blade left to right if you're cutting in a ditch or cutting in a side slope. You can do it. The center pivot for this thing is wore out. There's probably about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of slop in it. Oh, I put so along with this being 56 was the first year for factory 24-volt direct electric start. So I put some 24-volt LEDs on it. Again, about 3 years ago, I put a alternator conversion on it because it was cheaper than getting the generator rebuilt in my area. I located a used manifold for this. Mine was all busted up and through here from more than likely the exhaust stack getting hit by trees, and it was cracked and blown out. I got rid of the old narrow batteries and I put some bigger batteries in it. I rewired all this a number of years ago. New gauges. Built a shiny stainless exhaust for it. Out of some sanitary tubing. Oh, front windshield wiper. Rear windshield wiper. The holes are in the cab for it, but nothing. Well, the front windshield wiper was there, but nothing for the rear, so I bought two new 24-volt ones. Whole lot of levers. Tinted the windows in it. All new gauges, new light. Oh, I can't remember if I've said it already, but it's got 18-inch track shoes on it. Push arms need to get rebuilt. Track tensioners, can't see them because all the dirt on them. Those are still the old spring style. There is a manufacturer, however, I believe it's Henderson Manufacturing Company. They make a conversion to put a new style grease cylinder in there to adjust your track tension, and they're fairly reasonable. I think they were $1,000 for the pair. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat if you stop and think about it. Chains are worn pretty bad. Bushings are definitely shot. I got holes on both sides. Now, through my searching, if I remember correctly, D4D undercarriage will fit on this. This machine is a 6 3/4 inch pitch, and a D4D is the same. Now, you do have to watch the D4D stuff because you start getting into salt chains and a bunch of the other stuff, and that does change how many teeth are on your sprocket. If memory serves me correctly, I have 27 teeth on this sprocket, and with the D4D you can either get a 27 tooth sprocket or a 29 tooth sprocket. Both will fit, both will work, but you have to match your pins and bushings. Obviously, as you go up in newer equipment, as far as undercarriage goes, your chain height will increase. No big deal. You get a little bit more ground clearance. More ground clearance is always a good thing, right? And then same thing with the track pads. So they want it throughout the iterations. Cat went from 1/2 inch to 9/16 to 5/8, I believe, for their track bolts on D4 models. There's still good wear on the actual bars. What do we got there? Like a 1 3/8. And they're still got some life in them. But if I'm going to put new undercarriage on it. I'm doing everything. Hyster D4E winch. I bought this, oh boy, about 10 years ago. 10 years ago. I installed this, and to install this on this machine, so this is a seat tank. So this is the tank, and the seat is in front of it, and on top of it you have to install a 3-inch riser. Allied winch, bought Hyster many years ago, and they have all of the manuals for online free download. Sorry about that, I had a friend of mine stop over. We got talking about trailers and whatnot. But anyways, back onto this. So Allied winch bought Hyster out quite a few years ago. All of their manuals, all of Hyster manuals, are available on Allied Winch's website for free download, PDF form. They made one winch newer than this. It's a D4F, and it's a fully fabricated winch. Now, to fit a D4E or D4F onto a 7U or an older machine, the only thing you really got to do is modify the drawbar. So in the manual it tells you how to do that. What it involves: weld buildup around here and elongating this hole, and then you got to build 2 brackets. You guys can see those. You can see the top bolt, but you got to build a bracket that bolts on the top of the transmission housing. As you can tell, it is drilled for a dual bolt pattern, so it fits the D4D machines starting in 60 or 61, whenever it was, and it does fit the older machines. Also in that book they have a drawing for a logging arch, a integral logging arch for one of these machines, and it rides on this, comes up, comes over, has a single pulley. It's got some arms that come back down, ties into here, and you got to weld some reinforcement plates in here, and then they've got some half moon pieces that go back to your trailing arms in there that bolt in to reinforce that. This is a 4-roller bottom, not a 5. 5 was an option. Usually found those on HT4s, I believe, which are the track loaders. This side push frame has been broken once before and re-welded. I want to redo that because it is offset. It's kind of goofy. The cab on this, see that? It's Crinlow heavy duty industrial cabs out of Minnesota. I don't know if this was a factory option or aftermarket for the steel cab. Built my own heater box for it. Used a heater core out of a 82 Ford F-250. It's original brass and copper one, so I unsoldered some stuff and made it work. I built a control panel. It's a bunch of the wiring I got to finish running. Heater, button for the horn, 12-volt power, wipers. I do have a 24 to 12 volt converter, fuses for the 12 volt. They did make these tractors in two different styles. They made them for ag and they made them for construction. As you can tell, there's 6 slots for gears. There are 2 reverses. So this is a industrial tractor, not an ag tractor. Another way to tell too is by the solid front idler. If it had a solid front idler, it was set up for dozer work. If it was a spoked idler, it would be set up for ag work. Now the cab. Subscriber asking for some rough dimensions on this. So we'll see if we'll get some rough dimensions here. 4 foot from front to rear. Do this the easy way. It's a 1/2 inch, so we'll take 1 inch off. Alright, about 3'10" minus 1 inch, so you're 3'9". Height from the drip. Ooh. That's probably about 3 inches above the drip rail. So we are Hmm. 4'6½". Now, being 24 volt direct electric start, this does have glow plugs in it. They do work. I've also got to build a canopy for this. So, coming from up here in the front, I'm going to come straight up and then all the way to the back. I'm going to put another support bar coming up and another one in the rear, over, etc, etc, etc. Bunch of crossbars going across the top of the cab. Got the material to do it, just haven't had the time. I gotta take the belly pan off. I like to repaint it. But for now, it is what it is. So hope you guys have enjoyed the walk around. There'll be some more of this in upcoming videos, hopefully this year. Hope you guys enjoyed the walk around. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.